Alright, today's video, we're reacting to the most polluted country in the world, by Joe Bartolozzi. He's watching it from Adria Vlogs. So, yeah, shout out to him too, but we'll be reacting to this video. Interesting, we'll see.
Next! Bangladesh, the most toxic country in the world.
Bangladesh, the most polluted country in the world. It has the worst air quality globally. Breathing in these particles can reduce the life expectancy of its inhabitants by up to 7 years.
Like, you can literally see the straight up
living in Bangladesh your whole life, you'll die 7 years younger.
350 tons of garbage are dumped into its rivers, and drinking the water is like consuming poison due to its high levels of chemicals and arsenic. The noise in the cities is so extreme.
Oh, it's scary. That's how you figure out you're in Bangladesh on GeoGuessr, though. These wires. Look at that. Like, doesn't that look just like a fucking fire hazard waiting to happen?
It looks like...
Oh my god.
It looks
just like clumped up wires just sitting on
like
that telephone
in a dystopian world,
and they're like dangled.
Like so extreme that many people.
Like when there's in a dystopian world and there's like a lot of tall skyscrapers with a lot of technology and it looks so nice, and then you go to like the underground world part of it, in the slums, and that's what it looks like.
Suffer from permanent hearing loss. The meat consumed here absorbs all the metals in the air, becoming a source of diseases for humans. What you're looking at right now was once a river. Today, we're going to witness the damage that humans can cause to the planet in the most toxic and polluted country on Earth.
Yeah, I don't trust me at all.
Is this YouTube dubbed? I know YouTube added a dubbed feature. That's wild if YouTube can auto-dub videos like this.
Bangladesh, specifically in Dhaka, the most densely populated city on the planet. With area.
How many people live in Dhaka? 10.2 million people live in Dhaka. There's 340,000 people per square mile.
Sheesh.
What is New York? Or per square kilometer. So even less than a square mile. New York has 11,000 people per square kilometer. So they have 3 times as many people in each kilometer.
That can have up to 150,000 inhabitants in 1 square kilometer.
What? The most densely populated kilometer is 150,000 people. Where are they fitting them? Do you know how small a square kilometer is?
That's actually
that's
crazy.
Not big. Like, you would be able to visibly see road to road. That'd be like a block.
I must say, I visited many polluted places around the world, such as
They have large slums, but where are they fitting? Even if you have a big building.
India or Lahore, which is considered the most polluted city in Pakistan. But I have never seen anything like this. Here, the entire...
Does the city have any goals to, like, fix this? I always wonder what, like, the government that's running, not Bangladesh as a whole, but, like, whoever's running this city, they have to have some sort of plan. Because, like, otherwise, isn't it just only going to get worse? Like, at some point, it would literally become unlivable, right? If it's this bad, they do nothing. In 10 years' time... no one will be able to live here. I'm just wondering how this happens. What do you mean? Like, nothing must be regulated. I don't even think that nothing's regulated. I think this place just probably got so overpopulated so quickly that there is no capacity for regulation. Imagine trying to regulate New York City streets and trash if New York City had 3 times as many people as it has right now. That's what
it's like. I understand exactly what you're saying. It's like... If they fire the regulation, like who's in charge of the regulation, and then you get hired, like what would you do? Like day one, like it'd be very hard to clean up. We'll try to clean up at this point, where it's just atrocious, and so it would be very, very hard to clean the streets and get properly and make it like proper food and stuff. It would be super hard to. I clean up all the garbage and stuff, so like, yeah, it would be super hard to regulate everything.
What it would be. New York has, 12 million people, however many people it has, but by space, they're way more spread out.
Country is contaminated. The most shocking part is that what is visible to the naked eye.
I wonder what it smells like. Like, I wish we lived in a time where you could smell the video you're watching. I hope that's a thing one day.
Is not the most dangerous. The garbage is
I
actually
wouldn't
the
want to
least of
smell
the
that
problems.
video. Are you kidding me?
The real
Nah.
crisis is the toxic chemicals in the water and the particles in the air. What's in the air? Breathing in the city, you can feel something dense entering.
I mean, you could see like the small, like you can't see high in the sky.
Like, yeah, it's,
You remember anybody live in the
pollution's-
Northeast when the wild, or not even the Northeast? You remember, was it last summer or 2 summers ago, when all those Canadian wildfires started and everything was like a weird smog? Y'all remember that? It was like fucking a shitload of Canada was on fire. And it went into the U.S. And you would walk outside, and if you lived in the Northeast or wherever you could have been affected, you would literally just see like maybe 400 feet in front of you. It just looked like the clouds were like on the ground, but it was orange.
Through your nose.
This doesn't look orange, but it just looks like like you see how everything's hazy.
And it's the mixture of smoke, coal that's in the air from
my
heavy metals,
God.
dust, and all the pollution.
crazy. I want to be
Here
able to
are the
breathe.
highest levels of
Golly.
air pollution in the world. They are 15 times worse than those recommended by the World Health Organization. It is estimated that breathing for one day in this city is equivalent to smoking about 25 cigarettes.
No!
That is
No! I thought he was
insane.
gonna say like 2. Living,
That's
bro,
so
breathing
weird.
in the air, dude. That's over a pack, right? Breathing in the air for just living here, dude. And there's probably people that smoke cigarettes here. Holy fuck, that is just lung cancer speed run. You
That's
live in
nuts.
Bangladesh and you still and you smoke cigarettes. 25 cigarettes just living here. Oh my god, and there's like kids
Places like these, there
that are just inhaling.
are no precise studies, but it could be equivalent to 40 or 50 cigarettes. Seriously, your nose starts to hurt from how dense the air is. I want to see if
I would
My
bet
gosh.
it's like a burning feeling.
you yourselves can appreciate in the distance something that looks like mist, which can no longer be clearly seen at the very end.
Like,
That is
I live in Utah, at a very high elevation in North Utah. So it's, so when I go on vacation to like, on cruise, I'm gone for like 2 weeks at like sea level, and then I come back. I mean, I'm always used to it, so I'm still like, I'm hard, like it's hard to breathe. But you could 100% tell, and the people which at least have a hard time to get gas easier when it comes to Utah. But like, I can't imagine that. Like, oh my gosh, it'd be so hard to breathe, man. Like, jeez.
the smoke mixed with dust and everything that I'm talking about. That's what we are breathing right now. The particles in the air are 30 times finer than a human hair and are loaded with heavy metals such as arsenic, lead, mercury, cadmium, and more. The old, poorly maintained engines running in the city also contribute to the pollution, emitting hydrocarbons.
Oh yeah, they have like no regulation. You know when you see like a car riding down the street and it's just rolling coal and you're like, ugh, and it smells like shit, like every car having like basically being like that. Like this is just blowing out fumes.
Black carbon, sulfur dioxide, and other pollutants. These particles penetrate the lungs and enter the bloodstream, causing respiratory, cardiovascular, and even cancer diseases. Studies indicate that the inhabitants of Dhaka live on average 7 years less due to pollution. Brick factories
Bro was just carrying 4 dead chickens.
are one of the main causes of air pollution in
Bro, I see TikTok lives of this fucking place. Oh my god. Wait, maybe not this exact place, but something that looks eerily similar. Do you know what I'm talking about? I see TikTok lives of this one guy and he
What?
makes bricks and he stacks them. And he just like thanks all the donos. No? Wait. Bro.
What?
I'm telling you, I'm going to recognize the logo of the brick.
Dhaka. It is estimated that 7,000 brick factories across all of Bangladesh
Wow.
produce 23 billion bricks.
That's
And to prevent the
crazy.
Yeah, dude, this is it. This is it. I've seen some guy fucking kneeling down here just molding bricks.
authorities from interfering,
7 billion bricks. Where are these even getting fucking shipped to? Like, I've never seen these bricks anywhere.
it is said that they bribe them to avoid any type
Wait.
from interfering. 23 billion bricks. And to prevent the authorities from interfering, it is said that they bribe them to avoid any type of regulation. As a result, these massive kilns burn wood, coal, and other fuels to produce bricks. And as you can see, everything goes directly into the air without any type of filter. They are responsible for roughly 60% of the air pollution in Dhaka. This also affects the food people consume.
Down,
meat sold in open-air markets absorbs 60%. All the particles in the air. Vendors...
It's not even meat sold in the... Dude, you gotta think, like... And this is a problem all around the world, not just in Bangladesh specifically. Where they're catching these fish is in waters that are polluted, and those fish are eating, consuming, and... you know, digesting pollutants that go into their meat and then you consume.
And when,
like, when you
processing
eat
and
fish,
cutting it also
you're
picks up
eating,
more fumes
or just
and
like
more
and most
diseases.
meats in general, you're eating a percentage of microplastics. Because if the fish, especially like wild animals that are like in like polluted areas, like you're just eating what they eat. Like that's why it's people care a lot about like grass-fed, grass-finished and shit like that, because I'm pretty sure even in the U.S. legally, you're allowed to feed pigs a percentage of plastic, right? There's like a legality there. What percentage of plastic can you feed pigs in the U.S.? 80% of meat and dairy products from farm animals in the U.S. tested positive for microplastics. Like you eat plastic, and you just don't know it.
Wash the meat with water contaminated with arsenic and other chemicals.
What?
Additionally, the lack of refrigeration encourages the growth of bacteria like salmonella, while flies deposit bacteria and parasites. The high temperatures make the meat spoil quickly, generating toxins. This leads to food poisoning and severe gastrointestinal infections in people. I have never seen anything like this in my life.
I mean, this just looks incredibly unsanitary in itself.
The butcher shop is an entire meat market right next to the train tracks and in the middle of traffic, practically in the heart of the city. Unbelievable. Here is the butcher shop, here is the market, and right in front of it are the metal bars that separate it from the train tracks. People on top of the train, and here is something I hadn't seen. There are people who don't move when the train passes, who are working in the middle of the track. This can't be. Look, I can almost touch it. Once the train passes, everything goes back to normal.
And those who can't get
I never want to walk on like heavily. I don't understand this shit, but you ever see the videos on Twitter where motherfuckers touch the live wire or like the live track on a train track and die because there's just electricity being like shot through it? I don't think they have that on this one. It might be that one right there in the middle. I would just be like, I don't know which track is live. I don't want to touch the train tracks.
Get a space.
It's the third rail, but which one? It looks like the middle one right there would be the live one.
Off the tracks. They are installed on the tracks. There are people on the train tracks doing business, and they don't even move when the train...
How the fuck is there electricity? Because it's metal, they're just pumping electricity through it to help power the train, right? I don't know. It's technology. I don't know if that's what it is. I know it's used for the train, but you're not supposed to be on it. And so you could see videos of people like chilling on the train tracks. They lean back and touch it, and they just go... and then die.
That's crazy.
It's full, like, imagine just getting, like, a fucking 1,000,000 volts jabbed through your body.
Passes. One of the biggest problems that has occurred, it's the contamination of drinking
It's not how it works. I don't know. I'm just saying what the videos I've seen.
water, not the river, the drinking water, the piped water. It turns out that in the 1970s and 80s, they drilled hundreds of thousands of wells to avoid surface contamination. So, they dug wells and realized much later that approximately 20% of all the wells were contaminated with arsenic, a mineral that affects the nervous system, causes skin cancer, lung diseases, and so on. What was initially done with the intention of improving people's quality of life ended up killing thousands. And it is said that even now some few people have no option but to continue using these wells. This is considered the greatest mass poisoning of all time. The problem with the water is so severe that I'm finding that not even the local people drink water from the tap, unlike in other countries where, when the water is contaminated, the body gets used to it and they can keep drinking. I'm told that very few people do, practically only the poorest. They are the ones who have to adapt.
Wow. That means it's that bad that it's just genuinely poison. Because you could go to, like, certain places in India or other countries in South America where, like, the water to them is fine, but your body's just not used to, like, the microbiome that's in the water that just fucks up your stomach. but they can't even fucking drink it.
Adapt to taking that poison.
In Mexico, last time I went to Mexico, I had the shits. It was so bad. I don't think it was from the water. I don't know what it was from. I don't think I drank the tap water. While I was in Mexico, I was just shitting. I was shitting nonstop, dude. Like probably like 30 times a day. And I had to take these pills that like made me constipated.
Which the government
don't know what it was.
Takes
I didn't poop for like a day though.
From the water tap. They filter it, remove the arsenic, the chemicals, and sell it like this. This costs 30 tacas, which is about 25 cents of a dollar, around 110 colognes. 18 liters that can even be found on the street. This is how people access better water. If one day you ever feel completely, really tangled up, stuck, not knowing how to get into the work, remember this man fixing it. The city's telephone lines. One of the main causes of the extreme pollution in this country.
That guy has to go fix those fucking wires every day. How does he know which one he has to touch? There's like a fucking 100 of them.
One of the main causes of the extreme pollution in this country is that it has one of the worst sewer systems in the world. Between 80 and 90.
What is this?
As one of the
what is that? It looks like an intestine, doesn't it?
Worst sewer systems in the world. Between 80 and 90% of all waste falls directly into the river without any treatment. And it is estimated that every day in the rivers of Dhaka, 350 tons of toxic waste. Here we are seeing all the sewage of the city fall, all the fecal waste, the feces, urine, and medical waste produced by 20 million.
All right, them dumping poop into the water doesn't bother me. It's just like trash, you know? If they were like, dude, they're just dumping their poop in the water, I'd be like, you know, fish will eat it. It's fine. It's not as big of a problem.
What the frick? Inhabitants fall directly into the river without any treatment. And yet this is not the worst. Bangladesh is the second largest textile industry in the whole planet. Dhaka is a giant textile factory. And all the chemicals, surfactants, detergents, dyes, and metals they use like lead or chromium all go into the river without treatment.
No.
We are in what is supposed to be the cleanest area.
Where does this river lead? The ocean at some point?
Of all Dhaka.
It has to go through another country, though.
The modern part. Where the rich people live, which is said to be a bit more satiated, and where the government cleans more, because there are embassies and companies. And even so, see how we can find a park. And the most striking thing is that if we approach this pond, which is the largest in all of Southeast Asia, in the past, it was used for a king that lived here to bathe his elephants. We see how pipes coming from factories in the city fall here, releasing tubes that land here, and see the reactions that chemicals cause as they mix in the water.
That's insane.
Bubbles are coming out of the pond.
Maybe you, like me,
wonder if there is garbage collection in this city, if the government does anything to clean the city. And yes, it exists. We just saw...
The issue with this stuff is, I mean, I don't think the U.S. had this level of pollution at any point, but, like, the argument that a lot of other countries will make, and I think it's somewhat valid, is it's unfair. I don't want to say unfair, but when all of the first world countries today were growing, they were burning coal. They were causing heavy pollutants. They were rising themselves up at the cost of the earth. And so when other countries are trying to do that now, we want to put regulation on them, but we never had regulation ourselves. So it's like unfair for them to try and have to grow with all these restricting factors when if we had those, we probably wouldn't be where we are today. But I don't know. This is extreme. Like they're just pumping chemicals into the ocean.
Those responsible for collecting this, for cleaning the city. But it turns out that the culture, the habit of throwing trash on the street is so ingrained in people here that it is impossible to clean it all up. This is just from today. This is only from what has happened.
That's one day of trash.
Happened today. And here you can find, I saw a cow's leg. I saw meat that was just thrown out. So that spreads viruses and germs. And also, there are people living in these holes we see.
How bad do you think COVID was in Bangladesh?
Behind here. Just now, I saw people.
I feel like any sort of big disease would kill so many people here.
People coming out who live next to one of the thousands or millions of landfills in the city. The smell emanating from them is unbearable.
Hey, what?
It makes you want to vomit just walking by here. that it is impossible to clean it all up. This is just from today. This is only from what has
That's one day of trash.
happened today. And here, you can find, I saw a cow's leg. I saw meat that was just thrown out. So that spreads viruses and germs. And also, there are people living in these holes we see.
How bad do you think COVID was in Bangladesh?
Behind here. Just now, I saw
I feel like any sort of big disease would kill so many people here.
people coming out who live next to one of the thousands.
This guy nuked them. That's crazy, dude. Wow, that is a crazy comment, dude.
Or millions of
Bro, it's
landfills
just, like,
in the city.
nuke them.
The smell emanating from them is unbearable. It makes you want to vomit just walking by here. We can see in very small businesses, like these little kiosks behind, that there is always trash in front from what people buy. Anyone who buys a bag of bread or some snack eats it and immediately throws it on the ground. It's part of the culture.
Are you fucking kidding? No, that would actually piss me off if somebody did that in the U.S.
That's nuts.
If I was just walking on the side of the road and somebody was like, yeah, it just throws it to the side. If it was like an apple core or something, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. You know, it's like food. It's like food waste. It'll decompose. Or something will eat it. Like if you throw like a banana peel in the woods. But that, bro, he just threw a fucking, why are we throwing bottles on the street?
Sure. All the trash that comes from these small
free will. Dude, I can't get over, I think about this, I'm serious, once a month. I was at the mall about a year ago, and I'm walking, and I'm passing this dude, and he goes, but I just spit in a trash can. He just loogies right on the ground. Just and then he goes like this. And just snot rockets onto the floor in a mall.
Ew.
Just on the ground.
In
inside,
a mall,
and just keeps walking. I'm like, that shit's dirty, dude. Like, somebody's gonna step in
What
that.
the frick?
Like, and there's trash cans every fucking 20 feet at malls. Like
in
just
a
spit
mall,
in your trash
dude,
can.
that's
All shopping
nuts.
centers.
That's normal. You spit on the ground inside in places. That's just rude. I spit outside. If I'm on the sidewalk in, like, Philly or, like, anywhere, yeah. Spit on the ground because you're outside. But if it's like you're in it, like imagine you're in a Dick's Sporting Goods, you just go and just spit on the ground, bro, they kick you out.
Is simply thrown here in the ditch. People take it out of their place, so it doesn't bother them there, and just throw it in the ditch. It's normal to find the ditches completely covered in the city of so much garbage, but it's okay. Life goes on as normal. Even here alongside, there are sales of fruits, food, and all kinds of products. It's okay. I can't believe that the most sensitive area, the one they should take the most care of, is the worst I've seen of. In fact, it is the largest garbage dump we have found in the city. The riverbank. It doesn't make sense what we
And like, what is this guy doing here? I mean, you see he's smoking a cigarette, but is he just like posted up under the bridge?
are seeing here. This
He's
is
just
what a
chilling,
canal
man.
in the middle of the
He's
city
just chilling.
looks
Oh my god, the dog.
like. In fact, they don't stop dumping more garbage.
Popster.
It's already just like a public dump. Everything you see here is trash, covering what was once a river. And we notice it because right at the very end, there is still a little water running towards the Buriganga River. The most important in Bangladesh, the rivers are just like dumps. People come up and throw away whatever trash they have to dispose of. In these kinds of videos,
Dude, it's like high-level hoarding. You know what I mean? Where we watch these TLC videos and these other random videos of people where it's like, oh, it's so bad it doesn't matter anymore. Because if you were to like say you had to clean your room and you just kept putting it off and you kept putting it off, and 4 years down the line, like your floor is covered in trash, at that point, you know, you're done with a burger wrapper, just chuck it. Because it doesn't matter anymore.
I don't like to exaggerate. I like to tell you the reality of what I'm seeing. There are areas here in Bangladesh.
White people when people are suffering, white people when animals are suffering, no. I mean, I'm upset for the people in general. I was just also like, God damn, there's a dog rummaging through a trash river. I'm also upset for the people as well, but you could also notice that the people are actively throwing out the trash onto the floor. I'm not saying it's on them. I think the government needs to do something.
Where not even a mask can filter the amount of smoke and things in the air. And there are areas like this one where my eyes are watering. I can't even see well. because of the number of particles in the air. This is one of the most affected by pollution in Bangladesh. What we are seeing is not a channel nor a pipe. This completely black water you see here is the Buriganga River, the most important river in the whole country.
Oh yeah, there's got to be fish here, but I wonder how they survive with that level of pollutants.
Already biologically dead. It is one of the most polluted in the entire planet.
Oh, everything's dead in here?
We're going to take a boat to navigate it. Even the traffic on the water is crazy. Look.
I wish he had like a glass. You know what I mean? I wish he had like a glass that he could scoop up and show the water.
Look at this ferry leaving alongside us without any kind of control. This other one, and we are going to move it forward. I don't know if we are going to stop or not. This is one of the most important ports in the south of Asia. So there are hundreds of ferries that when they stop, they throw all their garbage into the river. They don't even care.
Bro! See, nah, like, I feel bad, but it's like, why, like, no one cares. I think it's because everyone knows that no one cares, so you being, recycling only works if everyone does it, you know? Like, if I recycled all my stuff, but everyone else didn't, it wouldn't matter that I recycle. Same instance here, where it's like, if this guy throws this into a trash bag, what's that fucking doing? Unless everyone starts agreeing to be like, hey, let's not throw our shit in the fucking street in the river, then it doesn't matter. Like, you might as well, because what is he gonna do with the trash? Throw it to somewhere and then they're just gonna throw it in the fucking river.
For putting it somewhere else.
Be a leader, not a follower? I mean, yeah, but you would have to get, like, a lot of people to agree. Everybody would have to have, like, a small group start being good about it, and then they would have to influence other people and other people and other people over time.
And also, I don't know if you can see what they were telling you because of the sun's reflections, but the water is completely black. It's because the river is biologically dead. That means there is no life here.
Oh, there's no bacteria.
No fish. Many years ago, fishermen lived off the fish they caught here. But now, look at this. It's all pollution. Maybe there are some microorganisms around, but nothing that could feed those who lived off the river. All the fecal waste that reaches the pipes, the sewers, or the city's large canals ends up here. Everything ends up falling here. Chemicals from all untreated factories.
I wonder what this will look like 10 years from now.
That's just
like, do you
gross.
think they're going to have to end up fixing it? I mean, India has similar problems in certain places. A lot of countries have a lot of these problems. But it's like, at what point is it going to be like, okay, if we don't fix this, like, everybody's going to have to move? Because at some point there would be so much trash that it's like, unless they either Band-Aid, like they could Band-Aid it as much as possible, but unless at some point they find a permanent fix, it'll literally be like, we can't live here anymore. We're all just going to die by the time we're 30.
This is what they have left.
By now it's too far gone. It might be too far gone to fix entirely, but dude, if they just keep piling trash, this place will be unlivable.
We are discovering that there are
it's on the brink of that now.
People living on the boats. It is a means of work and the only space in the city they have to live. So they live their lives here, bathe in this water, which is the only one they have access to, and relieve themselves. All here in the river.
Ugh.
In the city, apart from all the pollution we have seen, there is a type of pollution. What is invisible pollution? You might already be hearing it. It's pollution. Acoustics. Noise levels so high that they cause progressive and irreversible damage to the ears. And
the city's that loud that it fucks up your eardrums.
And also keep people at high stress levels. And that can also make them...
Oh yeah, the anxiety you would have, just like constant honking.
React aggressively.
Chalk the AI dub. I think the AI dub's getting a little worse here. It's been pretty good for this video though.
In everyday situations. For this reason, street ear cleaners exist. And they have a lot of work, partly because people think they have earwax, but actually they are hard of hearing. Something very curious and striking is that at first glance, it seems that it no longer affects them. It's like they've already adapted to the pollution. Very few people, like him, can be seen wearing masks, showing they care a bit. A little because of what happens. However, it is estimated that about 270,000 people die each year in Bangladesh due to pollution.
Well, would you wearing a mask in this even fucking do anything? Because
I doubt
all
it.
of the air around you is dirty. Like, you're protecting yourself from, like, inhaling bacteria necessarily, but, like, the air you're inhaling, it's not like an N95 where, like, there's filters that are filtering the air that you're breathing in. Like, you just have a mask on, the air that you're breathing in is just coming out of the top slots.
And almost 50% are children, who are the most affected.
Oh.
Well, my friends, finally with this sunset, truly spectacular on the Buriganga River. Despite the conditions it's in, it's still beautiful to see the sun set from a little boat.
I can't even fucking see the sun.
Calmly, sailing on the river.
Dude.
Tell me what you thought of this video. For me, very shocking. Never in my life had I seen the incredible...
I knew that a lot of countries had pollution problems, but I didn't know it was this bad in Bangladesh. It took me weeks to recover from a nasty cough and cold. Dhaka's no joke. Sending this to my friend from Bangladesh. He lives here in the Czech Republic. He always says how great his country is. I think you could still be proud of your country and the people within it. I think this is just an issue that they need to resolve. It's also really hard seeing the population density. Like, fixing this issue in a place where there's not 30,000 people per square kilometer is a lot easier.
But come on, that's levels of hate, though. Just, hey, you always say that you can just go and hear it. Look at this. That's crazy. But nah, yeah, like, that is kind of gross. Like, not kind of. That's a lot. The pollution there is crazy. But you know, it'll be hard to fix it. You know, it's gonna take years and years of hard work and regulation, and people are gonna have to come in and help, probably different countries, and then people will get mad about that, and so it's kind of hard. But lol, that's funny. Hey, already gunning? That's nuts. All right, yeah, that was a good video though by Aria Vlogs and of course Joe. So yeah, have a good night, everyone.